silence in the Vane household was usually the peaceful kind. The muffled quiet of plush carpets, heavy drapes, and the well-oiled machinery of a wealthy life in Cherry Creek. But tonight, the silence had teeth. Cybella dropped her cheer bag on the marble floor of the foyer, the sound echoing too loudly. She was 16, flushed from practice, her ponytail loosening at the nape of her neck. She checked her phone, a text from Ryan about the movies on Friday, but the normalcy of the screen felt at odds with the atmosphere in the house. "Dad," she called out. There was no answer, but the library door was ajar. A sliver of amber light spilled across the hallway. She walked toward it, her sneakers squeaking faintly. As she pushed the door open, the scent hit her first. It wasn't just the usual old paper and polished mahogany. It was the sharp, metallic tang of fear, mixed with a cologne that smelled of ozone and expensive scotch. Her father, Richard Vane, stood behind his desk. He was a man who commanded boardrooms, a lawyer who made problems disappear for the city's elite. But tonight, he looked like a ruin of a man. His tie was loosened, his face ashen, a glass of whiskey trembling in his hand. And he wasn't alone. Sitting in the high-backed leather wing chair opposite the desk was a figure that seemed to absorb the light in the room. He didn't turn immediately when she entered. He finished a slow sip of his drink, placed the glass on a coaster with deliberate care, and then rose. He was massive. That was Cybella's first thought. Tall, broad-shouldered, built with a predatory grace that his charcoal suit could barely contain. He looked about 25, young for the gravity he projected. His face was all sharp angles and severe lines, handsome in a way that made your stomach drop. But it was his eyes that froze her in the doorway. They were blue. Not the soft blue of the Colorado sky she loved, but a shocking, pale, glacial blue. The kind of blue you saw in photos of Arctic crevasses. Beautiful, ancient, and utterly deadly. "Cybella," the stranger said. It wasn't a question. His voice was a baritone rumble that seemed to vibrate in the floorboards. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice small. She looked to her father for an introduction, for reassurance, but Richard Vane was staring at the floor. "I am the man holding the deed to this house, the title to your father's firm, and the marker for his life," the stranger said calmly. He took a step toward her. "I am Travis Prowel." Cybella stepped back, hitting the door frame. "Dad? What is he talking about?" "I'm sorry, Bella," her father whispered, his voice cracking. I overreached. The development deal. The funds weren't mine to leverage. I thought I could replace them before anyone noticed. But Mr. Prowel noticed. Travis finished for him. He moved around the desk, ignoring Richard entirely now. His focus was solely on Cybella. He stopped 3 feet away, close enough for her to feel the heat radiating from him. "The debt is astronomical, Cybella. Incalculable by standard metrics. The penalty for theft from my organization is usually physical removal." Cybella's breath hitched. "You're going to kill him?" "I was," Travis said, his tone conversational. "But then I saw you." The air in the room shifted. It became heavy, suffocating. "Me?" Richard proposed a trade, Travis lied smoothly, though his eyes danced with a dark amusement at her father's flinch. Or rather, I offered him an alternative, a merger. He reached out. Cybella wanted to run, but her feet were lead. His hand, large and warm, cupped her chin, tilting her face up. His thumb brushed her cheekbone, a touch that was possessive, not gentle. "You are 16, he observed, studying her face like he was appraising a diamond. "Too young, but I am a patient man." He dropped his hand and turned back to her father. "The terms are set, Richard. The debt is frozen. You keep your life. You keep your firm. You keep your house." "And in return?" Cybella demanded, finding a spark of courage in her confusion. Travis looked back at her over his shoulder. The glacial eyes narrowed. "In return, I get you. On your 18th birthday, at the stroke of midnight, you leave this house. You leave your life. You become my wife."